All right. I'm reviewing the Stadium Series jerseys and explain why I haven't been uploading videos at first because it does tie into a lot of NHL news that is going on right now. So the Carolina Hurricanes, my mom canceled our Disney Plus subscription, which was tied to our ESPN subscription, and basically I'm gonna have to get a new sign into my dad's ESPN, but I didn't feel like doing that and didn't feel like dealing with that, and I'm just getting fatigued with how hard it is to watch hockey games and figure out how you can watch this specific game. And it shows in the viewership. Viewership has dropped in 22%. I think the NHL deserves it. I think with the NHL's obsession with digital board ads, blackouts, ads on jerseys, ads on helmets, constant betting ads, it's coming back to hurt Carolina. It's coming back to hurt the NHL as a whole, and I think they deserve it. And if they're not careful, the MLS will catch up to Carolina. Or not Carolina, I'm talking about the Hurricanes games. I apologize. To the NHL. Because soccer just had come off of a great World Cup, which was easy to watch, mind you. Didn't have to deal with blackouts, but they're coming off a great World Cup. Messi's probably going to end up playing in the US, and the NHL's got to be careful. And this was a league that was exploding, but because they lost money in the pandemic, which I get, instead of being patient, they've just exploded with this need to make up for the money, and now it's hurting their base. It's the same thing with when they got that amazing NBC Sports deal, and then it got to the point where NBC Sports, as much as I can't believe I'm saying this, they did a better job with broadcasting. It's not as big of a market as ESPN. So yeah, the NHL, it's just the amount of struggling and it sometimes hurts to watch games when the board ads are disrupting it. It's just been very hard, and it's a pain in the ass to figure out if, oh, is this Hurricanes game? Can I get it on cable this week, or is it on the NHL Network and ESPN exclusive? And then if it's on the NHL Network, I can't watch it all. I just got tired of it, and it's a shame because in the NHL they failed to step in when the YouTube TV deal dropped the regional broadcasts. What the NHL should have done, and this was before they lost money in the pandemic, they should have said, okay, who needs more money for this deal to continue? We will cover it because we need to make sure people can watch our game no matter what, and stepped in and negotiated that deal between Bally Sports, or at the time I think it was still Fox Sports, and YouTube TV. And you know what? It's cost Bally Sports money because they've declared bankruptcy, but the blackout restrictions are getting ridiculous. In an age where it should be easier to watch teams more and more, it's become harder because the NHL, like with other sports, but this is more important for the NHL right now, they failed to adapt. They constantly rely on these cable exclusive deals to where people trying to stream their own sports games and people are leaving cable more and more. They're going to be watching less and less hockey because they can't watch their team. And it's just I only really have time to exclusively watch the Hurricanes. I'm a Hurricanes super fan. I've been watching the Hurricanes since maybe '04, but probably '06 after the lockout but I've been watching the Hurricanes as long as I can remember. Been a diehard fan, buy the jerseys, do this, make YouTube videos about it, and I'm just tired of trying to figure out how I'm gonna watch my team. And I'm a super fan. How's a casual fan who's like, oh, are the Hurricanes playing tonight? Yeah, I'll tune into this game. How are they going to be able to watch these games? So, regardless, that's why I haven't been watching videos. I'll try to jump back onto the Hurricanes games. I'm probably not going to hit every game of the playoffs. I will always watch because I've been waiting to see the Hurricanes be a consistent playoff team all my life. So, playoff hockey, yes, sign me up for that. And we'll never miss a Hurricanes playoff game. Hopefully. I mean, probably at some point, but I mean, just in general, because, yeah, I mean, it's the Carolina Hurricanes in the playoffs that didn't happen a lot in my childhood, making up for it now. Um, but yeah, on to the Stadium Series game, and I got limited time because I got to take my dogs out to pee, then head to a hockey game on my own. But I feel like I owed it to you guys to explain why I haven't been making videos and everything. But on to the Hurricanes game itself. It was a great game. Carolina Hurricanes have been playing well. A lot has happened since I've stopped doing Hurricane reviews. They lost to Arizona 4-0, got booed out of their arena, won 13 games in a row, went on a 4-game losing streak. Who cares? They just won 13 games in a row, won a bunch of games in a row, and now just been consistently winning games. They're an amazing team. So I've been following, just haven't been able to watch religiously because I'm tired of dealing with the NHL's bullshit. But yeah, on to this game. Carolina, it was a big celebration. This was more of a celebration of Hurricanes hockey than itself. I personally, I think I said this before on this channel, I think outdoor games are a little bit overrated. Not a little bit, I mean a lot. They're like just spectacle for the sake of spectacle. But I remember watching the first Winter Classic back when outdoor games mean something. I'm like, when it was between like Pittsburgh and Buffalo, and I remember thinking, oh man, I cannot wait to see the Hurricanes play in this. Not realizing the Canes were a really small market team, financially struggling because I was 10 at the time, and the odds of that happening were unlikely. So I just kind of, and then it just never happened. Then I learned, oh, we might relocate, let alone have an outdoor game, let alone be making the playoffs, let alone contending for a Stanley Cup. We've contended for the Stanley Cup. We've been making the playoffs consistently. We have a great coach. We have a great owner. Now we're getting an outdoor game. And I think this was more of a celebration of hockey in North Carolina than it was about the game. And Carolina came in, they dominated the game as a team over the Capitals, who were admittedly without Ovechkin, who is unbelievably going to break Ovechkin's goal record. Um, it's a marvel to see, and he's a special player, and he's proven me wrong when I said he was overrated as a kid. I think it was because he was playing for Washington. I liked Crosby more because there was a time where I actually kind of liked Pittsburgh. So it's just definitely one of those like things where I was proven wrong by a player. It happens often. But yeah, they didn't have Ovechkin, so fair play to Washington on that front. However, Carolina still, like, if you're Washington, you shouldn't be dominated the way Carolina dominated you. It it was really just the game was never up for grabs. Washington got one with 10 minutes left, but Carolina just consistently outplayed them, consistently scored. It wasn't even Darcy Kemper's fault. Darcy Kemper still had a good game, and Carolina was up 4-0. So great effort by Carolina. I would say, the first period they came out strong, second period they came out strong, third period they came out strong. I would say the best player on the ice was Natchez, but because Natchez consistently and deservedly so keeps getting praised, myself included, when I watch the Hurricanes, I want to spotlight Kotkaniemi. I've been critical of Kotkaniemi before, um, but tonight he played well. Got it 2 points tonight. Made good plays, did well in the power play. Canes' power play has improved a lot since I last watched them as well. The Canes' special teams, if their power play can get on fire, they're going to be one of the best special teams in the league. I think Carolina needs to figure out a way to still be one of the better offensive teams in the league, but I think they also need to figure out how to open the ice a bit more. The broadcast was saying how they're 13th in scoring. You have guys like Svechnikov, who's on a bit of a cold streak when it comes to scoring, so Svechnikov doesn't play well. You have guys like Svechnikov, Natchez, Brent Burns, Sebastian Aho. All these guys can move. Teravainen, he got a goal tonight. I like to see Teravainen starting to play better. So you have all these guys who can score, skilled players. I mean, the Canes, they're not really like a team built to hit and play tight defensively, and they do a great job playing defensively. I'd like to see what these guys can do if Rod Brind'Amour decides to open the play up. I know Brind'Amour, the kind of player he was always a tight player defensively. But yeah, I think that's something Brind'Amour, as we're Money Puck, which I hate Money Puck. Maybe it's because I always see my team have good odds and stuff, and I don't like seeing that for some reason. It gives me more anxiety. I'm used to the Canes being the underdog, no pressure on them, so that might be why I don't want to be set up for disappointment. But like in terms of Carolina winning, what's it called? In terms of Carolina's skilled guys, I'd like to see him open it up. I know Brind'Amour was a tight defensive player for the matchups, and Brind'Amour's really good at that. But I do think now that we have 80 points, and we're far ahead of everyone, and 3 games out of our division, why not the next couple games? So you know what, Svech, Aho, Teravainen, Jarvis, go have fun. They definitely listen to Rod Brind'Amour and play. They definitely respect him in the locker room. I don't think Brind'Amour would have a hard time if they need to tighten up, telling them to tighten up, especially a guy like Sebastian Aho who can do both. So yeah, that's something I would look for if I'm Rod Brind'Amour. I'll try to upload more consistently as we approach the playoffs and approach the standings race. But with the Hurricanes playoff format, we kind of, I think we already know what most of the matchups are probably going to look like. There's like, oh, if the Hurricanes are way ahead of their division, well, nowhere to go but up. Can't fight for the number one seed. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's it for this Hurricane review. You guys will see this a lot later than I recorded it because I'm going to play hockey, then upload it. But yeah, talk to you guys soon. And yeah, let's go Canes, baby.